All right, yeah. So we're gonna get into Bucks's two sets here. So he's gonna be fighting Fraga, and then he's gonna be fighting a different Samus. Because at least in his post, he emphasized that he fought two different ones. So we'll see what happens. Again, this is one of Samus's all-time worst matchups ever. It was god awful for her in Smash 4. In this game, it got a little bit better just because she can kill off a grab. So, like, if she gets that to you now, I think she can kill you, like, at 150 off of it, which that's very good, especially since it's an up throw. So, it's not like you even need to worry about, you don't even need to worry about, like, where you are on the stage. And that's very powerful. Okay, so I got that platform covered by Can, so that's very good. I do not know why you would have Smash there. So, like, the main part of the game in this matchup is... No. So the one thing you need to remember is Anchor Can. When you have Anchor Can activated, Samus has zero tools to pressure you with projectiles. Like, it's just impossible for her to get anything done. Because basically Charge Shot doesn't work, and she has to use a homing missile. That was kind of hot. In order to like even remotely think about hitting you, and she has to jump in homing missile too. And homing missile doesn't really do anything. Okay, so instead of hearing like ambient controller noises, we are going to put on some training mode music. $125? Okay, that's insane. On like no platform, right? So if it's that early, that's actually nutty. She shouldn't grab you, but that's still good. That's a very good thing for her. What do you know? I think the internet's listening to me because training mode guitar is one of the first things that popped up on my YouTube feed, and it was like an acoustic cover of it. Let me know if the volume's too loud or if it's just perfect. Yes to the platform or no to the platform? That's what I need to know. If it's yes to the platform, that's still pretty cool. I mean, that's still pretty good, but that's not like, oh god. Because if it is 125 on without platform, that's like better than Melee Mewtwo, which that's nuts. Melee Mewtwo's up there, killed early. Also killed early in Smash 4 too. Let's see. Yeah, again, Clay Pigeon's not really going to be a projectile you're using. You're mostly looking to use Anchor Cannon and Gunman, because Gunman will block everything unless it's all the way up there for some god-awful reason. And remember, if you're going to avoid like uncharged charge shots, you just do down tilt. Yeah, not a bad Nair setup. Oh, okay. At least he got the Gunman out. Why would you Clay Pigeon there? That jump is very scary there, because like if the Samus was able to get it, then that could actually lead to your stock. Like somewhere there. Fair is very laggy, so I would recommend just going for like an air dodge or something like that. The other thing too is like you can't focus on using Clay Pigeon in this matchup just because like, her projectiles will at least do something to it. And the other thing too is like, just fearing the double missile is the dumbest thing in the world. Just place out a Gunman and it's just going to absorb it. And when it absorbs it, it could get knocked down in a fashion where it will permanently block every single projectile coming to you. And also because he pinged it there, then he had to actually deal with Charge Shot. If you don't ping it, then you don't have to deal with Charge Shot. And when you don't have to deal with Charge Shot, Samus becomes nothing. Yeah, no Gunman. I don't know why you're jumping and Gunmaning. You can literally just drop the Gunman there and not know. That's the thing. You can't ping it either. Like, this matchup becomes unwinnable as long as you're playing the Gunman and Anchor Can game. When you do that, legit Samus can't do anything. And that's basically what I'm just not seeing abused here. Like, of course, Samus is in the lead, but when she's in the lead, what you do is you set up Gunman, you wait for that to go down, then you set up the can, and then that way you can slowly approach. Then you get that anchored. Then you can also make your approach to that because now she can't hit you unless Unless she like makes a really, really good call out or something like that. Like, there's just so many things you can do. See now, like, look, now you've got Gunman there permanently. His pants is down. That means you are indefinitely defended there. Why are you rushing to a can when there's a projectile there when you have not anchored it? Like, if you don't understand the mechanics of anchor can, like, then this matchup just becomes a lot worse than it actually is. Yeah. No, it's that and Gunman. Like, honestly, when you get lanky Gunman or like Black Hat Gunman, like the second they go into that state where they're just like shocked, like there's legit nothing Samus can do anything to you. That's basically like that's gonna be my critique of every single game. I think. Like, I think it's just gonna be that. Because it's not like he's having an issue. Because that's the only thing he's having an issue with right now. Also, I don't really like going to the stage, but that's just more of a personal preference. You kill her early, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And if anything, it actually makes Anchor Can a little bit more... Why? It does make Anchor Can a little bit more broken here. I don't know why you would charge into Samus when you have a perfectly good defense and you have the percent lead. Like, you can just kind of abuse that. Like, see, okay, that's a decent setup. Now you got to juggle. Okay, see, that was good. That was a whole good sequence there. Not sure why you'd go for the Gunman. And also the other thing too is like this is very much a Wi-Fi Samus. Like they are very liberally using their projectiles, and if you were playing around their one gimmick, they would just break apart. But you're not even like remotely attempting to make an adaptation to that at all. Because I'm pretty sure you. I mean, I don't think you're in the chat box, but like I'm pretty sure you know about Anchor Can. Like you're on the Discord enough to at least have heard Husky breathe that word. Or at least, like, I'm pretty sure you follow him on Twitter. Because, like, as long as you meet those two criteria, you have no excuse not to know how to play this matchup. And the other thing too is like he's not even really like jumping and shooting it either. So like, you could just do like a feint jump and then just get it. Okay, Rayleigh's got the stock lead. Hardly use what? Anchor Can? Yeah, because like Anchor Can, you're using it against projectile users. So like once you get that instilled in you, then like all of this would not be happening once you get that. See, like, okay, why did you just risk yourself like just eating damage in any sense or form? Like there was no reason for that to happen. So now you had the advantage, but I don't know why you forgot about that. You could have just kept the juggling air with up airs, and then it would have been a really good spot. Yeah, because of the lag of the bombs there, that clay pigeon wasn't too bad. That would eat out any type of projectile she'd go for. She had a full charge shot, so I'm not sure why you even try to rush her when you had the safety of the gunman right there to block everything. Yeah, see, there we go. Yeah, you just got kind of a little desperate there. Also, make sure you have your pattern down with when you're getting up on stage too, because like a faulty get-up attack can just get you killed in this matchup. Oh, you could have up smashed that. Like just a reminder. Let's bring up Samus on UFD. Samus dash attack is... Once it loads. Samus dash attack is negative 26 on shield. So if she didn't cross you up, that's a free up smash. Oh, so let me know how the audio bounces, just in case it's a little bit too loud. Oof. See, like, that was really risky. Like, if you fared 1 second after that missile hit the can, then you could have just blown yourself up. Or actually, if you hit the can and then they hit it with the missile. Oh, God. You could have thrown one more clay pigeon in there. Ah, yeah, you weren't ready for that. But yeah, see, that's the reason why you got to be careful about those get-up attacks. Like, really watch where your opponent is when you go for that. Yeah, so now that there was an anchor can there. If you literally did nothing, you would have not had to worry about that charge shot at all. Yeah, so the video itself actually has no audio to it. It's just the training mode music. The only audio that you heard from Bucks's stream is just his controller. And that was it. But yeah, no, you literally just had to do... Yeah, so for this one, this is a critique. Exactly what it says there. But yeah, like it literally, if you just obeyed the rules of anchor can there, that last charge shot wouldn't even remotely hit you. Ooh, excuse me. I think 29 is the next part we got. So definitely ask for friendlies. Yeah, like literally if you play around the idea of gunman and anchor can will save me from Samus's entire toolkit and you play with that mentality, then she becomes like unable to kill you unless you just run into her. That's the only way you lose to Samus is if you run into her. That's really it. Obviously, like if you're smart about like approaching her and then trapping her, then that's something you can do. But generally, because you have anchor can and gunman set up, she has to approach you, and she cannot approach like at all. And once you have that down, then you just punish her. Like think about how many times she had to, when you were in the lead and you were just hanging back, how she had to come to you and like dash attack you or do like a really unsafe forward air or something like that. And then when that happens, you just get a free punish off of it, and then that's the matchup. Like she physically cannot get anything started unless you actually like just give it to her for free. Like you literally need to hand her the set whenever she wins. Unless it's like the nastiest reach that she's getting on you, but otherwise like she just can't do anything to get in. No, this is a VOD review, so if you have a VOD you want me to look at, you're more than welcome to do it. I'm not doing any friendlies at the moment. It depends. So like with when you're fighting Isabel or Villager, obviously they have pockets so they can just pick it up. Anchor can is good against Wolf. So against Wolf, when you anchor can, then what that does is can is not going to move, and because you hit it with laser, it's actually going to go back towards you. So that means at that moment, Wolf needs to come approach you, and then when he approaches, the can is going to be following behind him if you decide to ping it. So that's one thing that's nice for that matchup. Let me briefly look through the roster real quick. Give you a rundown. So of course, Samus, Dark Samus. Anchor can doesn't really do too much against Simon and Richter just because their whole thing goes through it. Snake's grenades are a little bit too weird for that to really make much of an effect. Robin, Anchor can will absorb I think everything but Uncharged Thunder. And then Thoron, of course, goes through everything, so that's not too bad. Rob Laser goes through... Rob Full Charge Laser goes... Actually, no, Rob Laser just goes through everything, so that one's kind of iffy. Ivysaur's... Razor Leaf goes through everything. Then Pac-Man's fruit, except for... So Key and Bell ignore it, but and then Galaga I think ignores it too, but everything else will bounce off of it. Then Toon Link and Link, boomerangs and arrows, those will get absorbed by it. But depending on where the arrow is, it might travel above it. So that one I wouldn't really worry about it as much, except for like certain boomerang interactions. I think Hadouken, and then of course for Power Wave, that will absorb it. Of course, if the Fireballs hits it, then the Fireballs will anchor the cannon. That'll keep it there. But of course, they're more mobile and it bounces, so that's a bit different. Mega Man... The thing about Anchor Can in that instance is, like, let's say Mega Man throws Metal Blade diagonally forward and you've already anchored the can, and let's say he's trying to approach you, then when he gets to it, you can just ping it and automatically blow him up, even though he might think it might go far. So this one can basically set can as a mine in certain instances, so it can help, but sometimes it doesn't really do much. Like, that one doesn't really change things. It kind of just changes the way that you look at things. Yeah, sure, I can look at your set. What else is there? Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah, Arc Thunder can... Sometimes it's nice to have it just kind of blow up on the can, though. So you don't have to deal with it. K-Roll, it will block Blunderbuss, but Crown will go right through it, so he's not really too concerned about that. King DDD, yeah, it can block Gordo. Obviously, if it blows up, it'll just rocket it back to him as well. Paralyzer Shot from ZSS and Corrin, it will take. I think that's it. I think Pit and Dark Pit arrows go above it, unless they angle it down. That's pretty much it. So for Bayonetta, if she holds Bullet Arts, that's a physical attack, so that will always pop the can. Unless she uses Neutral Beat, but that goes up, so that will never matter. Oh, Mewtwo. Mewtwo, yes. If you do Anchor Can, Shadow Ball means nothing. Same with Lucaria's Aura Sphere. Anchor Can invalidates that. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, because like Yoshi's Eggs, those will go above it, so they're not too concerned about that. That's mostly it. Samus is really the biggest one that applies for, and the other ones have like more niche uses, but Samus is like really the big one that you just don't worry about that. Oops. Okay. Wait, Spark. I feel like I might know you. Okay, let's get to... Yeah, Did I... Wait, did I exit out of your... Oh, shoot, did I exit out of your stream? I think I did. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, good. I think it's at 29 that you fought another one. Let's see what happens. Yeah, because like honestly, you have a pretty good neutral for the most part. But like, the thing was like that Samus was playing so one note. I'm kind of surprised you didn't adapt to just like jumping around her projectiles, which is the main thing for me. But yeah, no, against Samus, like you especially if Samus is going to play that one note, you can just ignore everything and just focus on that. So the thing about missiles is when they do enough damage, it will knock down the gunmen. However, when gunmen are knocked down, they're a constant hurt box, so they can always absorb the missiles, so those don't even matter. So if they knock down the pants off of like Lanky Gunman or they knock off the head of the Black Gunman, they're just like an endless wall that will always absorb it, and literally missiles will do nothing. So missiles don't even matter. Like gunmen are really good for dealing with that. That's the other thing too. A down gunman will absorb every charge shot except like the weak ones that don't even matter. So like, let's see here. So they're like, okay, so that's not a bad setup because like at least there, like you had Clay Pigeon above, so that and can below. So you pretty much covered every single possible projectile that could have happened. Yeah, there, you're not just watching your opponent there. You're just kind of pressing buttons right there. See, like, look, can... That was anchor can. That was anchor can right there. Oh, crap, I can't do that. I think around right here. So, look. Because of anchor can, that entirety of charge shot did not matter. Like, that's how busted that option is. Like, it invalidates Samus so hard. So you can literally just stand right behind here, behind a cannon and gunman, and Samus can do stuff, but none of it is going to matter at all. And like the second that like she tries to like approach you in any capacity and does an option, you can just immediately punish it. Because like she's not safe. She's not safe on shield in the slightest. Like best case scenario. Let's bring up Samus's page again real quick. I'll do Dark Samus because it's the exact same. Like from the air. So if she neutral airs with the first hit, and she lands immediately, she can be -5. So that's actually pretty good. But if she doesn't get that, it's gonna be like -12 best case scenario. If she has her back turned to you, -9. Down air -8, but you know that starts frame 17. The only thing that she could possibly land with is like neutral air, but you can just kind of call that out. Azir can bounce off a lot of things though. Like Azir's not that great. Like this is what Zaire is. Like Zaire is good against a tall character, but Duck Hunt is so short that it really doesn't matter. Like it's hard for her to get this to hit Duck Hunt before she lands. That's a very hard thing to do. Okay, let's get back to this. Yeah, I think that was just more of a misinput there. Yeah, see, like you're able to call out a landing there because like her hitbox hit that gunman. That's the other thing too that you can abuse is like if she has to like come there and like hit a gunman, then like you can also get that hitbox extension, and then that, you know, with that you're able to just like have an easier time punishing them. I think you could have actually shielded that. Yeah, see, now that gunman's there, she cannot do any projectiles that are there. That's the other thing to remember too, is when that gunman is down, you can camp behind it and she has no projectile that can hit you. Okay, so yeah, about 145-ish. See. Yeah, see, like there you weren't really watching the landing, you were still just kind of spamming more aerials there. Or projectiles, that's what I meant. You gotta be ready for dash attack to cross up, and once you do, especially when you're at the ledge, like that's very easy to pick up and just punish. Oh, that shield is getting an M&M too. Like there, okay, you're at least ready to punish there. See, no, that's good coverage there, yeah. It's like, you know, you've got your neutral sense down here. It's just like you're allowing yourself to play this matchup very honestly, and you don't need to. At least that can looked like a misinput there. And that, okay, get up attacking can there, that makes sense to like get the can away for you so you can get better coverage there. That's the other thing too, is like by running in front of that gunman, you're putting yourself at risk of getting hit by projectiles, and now you lost a stock because of it. Like there's so much safety that you do not need to get rid of in this matchup. Like, you should feel more secure playing this matchup than you do against a heavy. It's just you're not going to be comboing her as hard. That's mostly what it comes down to. Yeah. So we're going to up air the can. Okay, that's good. I wish you were ready to combo off of that, but I don't blame you. Okay, let me talk about that scenario real quick, because at least this I can universally apply to basically everything. Okay, there are two things that you look for in this matchup. I mean, in this type of instance. So what you do here is you wait and you jump. If they roll, then you just like land it, immediately punish it with like your up smash or your grab. At 149, you're looking to just kill them, so most likely you should do up smash. And then if they jump, then you can just like up air them or nair, depending on how high above they are compared to you. Because like a grab's not going to kill them there, unless like you get them blown up by the can. And you can't just whiff punishes like that. Like when an opponent is like that high at percents, like you should just be ready to kill them at that moment. Yeah, like one thing that's really good to do against Samus. Wait, my switch is off. Let me switch to gameplay real quick. Okay. Let me pause the training real quick. And let's go to okay, let's go to actual Smash for a second. So something that you can do to like automatically protect yourself in the matchup is wave bouncing. Wave bouncing is actually really broken. More so with Gunman than you would with Can, just because like if the arc Can travels in. But like not that. But yeah, basically if you wave bounce a Gunman properly, you're just able to give yourself an automatic wall, and charge shot's not getting through that. Like once you perfect that motion, then pretty much you can auto call a defense to make sure that you never have to deal with charge shot. The way that you do it is you do a so like if I want to do this wave bounce, oh, not that one, that one. What you do is you're first putting a gunman in this direction, and then you're immediately turning it around that way. So what you do, real quick, do webcam. So what you're doing is you're doing a gunman down in one direction, and then you're immediately flicking the stick in the opposite direction. So yeah, and what you're oof. And what you're doing is you're doing down left, and then you're going right. You get it pretty consistently, but I haven't practiced it in a while. God, I'm really messing this up. Yeah, you can also do that with Can too. But yeah, as you see, Can just kind of goes a little bit too high to make that practical. So yeah, so as long as you don't drift in front of them, that's fine. But if you want to use like the gunman itself, then getting the wave bounce down is going to be very important. God, I used to be so good at that. The good thing is you can practice the motion without the gunman coming out. It's just to at least get a visual reference of what it looks like. Dang it. Yeah, there we go. That's what that is. But no, trust me, like you can definitely get it down with it being without it being too hard. It might come down to some controller things, or maybe there's some slightly weirder things with the buffer system, but yeah, no, they're good to do. I don't remember seeing Wiv do too many wave bounces in his life, but maybe he does. Let's put on the trading music again. Yeah, also your disadvantage, one thing I've always noticed is your disadvantage tends to not be too good. Like, you never really rely on, like, air dodge or direct, like, neutral air dodge or directional air dodge. I feel like you rely a lot more on getting, like, your can out than anything. And it's not like you're really using, like, wave bounces or B reverses to get around things. You're more of just, like, throwing out a raw can. So, like, once you get, like, more of those things down, you should be taking a lot less damage. Like, focus on really watching your opponent and how to minimize what type of punish they can get on you and what can put you in the best position possible. Because, like, in this game, like, canicides just do not benefit you that much. There's very niche situations where they work out really nicely. Smash 4 canicide was amazing. This game, because of the way that the knockback works on can, like, the knockback direction, generally not... Ooh, God. That sucks, because you had a really nice punish set up there. Like, if you actually Clay Pigeon his shield, the Clay Pigeon would have bounced up to cover jump, then the gunman would have shot to cover grab, and then, you know, they would have only really been able to jump away, or maybe up B out of shield. Up B out of shield's the one option they had against you there. But it actually might have broken... Actually, no, it's a multi-hit, so I don't think it would have broken Clay Pigeon. Yeah, see, that Clay Pigeon will have you wide open. Zero reason to go for it there. Yeah, like here, like I would just say, like you're just not watching your opponent. And like you're just at this point you're throwing out like 90 Hail Marys and like just hoping one works. You finally air dodged, so that was good. There you could have down smashed because that up smash whiffed. And yeah, no, you just threw out way too many options without really thinking about what you were doing. Like, if you've seen, like, one of those memes of just, like, everybody panicking and hitting the button, that's exactly what that entire last stock looks like. Okay. I think this is the last game. Oh, too far. Okay. Yeah, see, like that's the reason why you don't go for Clay Pigeon. Like, just jump back gunman, like runaway gunman. That would work just fine. You don't need to be fancy with the wave bounces. Just running away and then just turning around and gunmaning. That's perfectly fine. If you do that, we'll don't have to deal with that. SpongeBob brain. Yeah, pretty much that. That was exactly what was going on. Like when he's just destroying everything inside his head. Okay, Clay Pigeon, up smash. See, like that's good. Now you've set up like a really good advantage. You had a pretty good neutral control, but again, you just weren't watching your opponent in that 1 second, and now you're in a very different situation than you could have been. Really good armor throw timing there. That was a really good jump there to avoid that up air. Yeah, see, that was a good Clay Pigeon because you were catching, like, their defensive option coming down there. So, like, at least, like, I don't think you were reacting. Like, I think you were just predicting it, but that's a realistic reaction you could have had. Oh, yeah, that was a back air. You were not getting a down air in any shape or capacity off of that Clay Pigeon. You could have killed him, though. Like, definitely when you get your opponent to, like, 129, if they're at the ledge, just remember a sweet spot back air is going to kill them. So just make it as simple as yourself as you possibly can. You don't want to overcomplicate things. You don't want things to get messy. Like there, up air. There we go. See, as long as you keep it, like, sweet and simple, beautiful like that, then you'll have no issues closing out these stocks, and you won't be throwing out all these Hail Marys. Keep in mind, charge shot is very laggy too. Like, unlike getting, like, them hitting a physical, using a physical attack against an object, the second that projectile hits that wall, it's gone. Like, you can just run up and approach them after that. And charge shot has a decent amount of end lag to it too. Also, the other big brain thing about doing the rapid jab there is it will just beat out pretty much any projectile. So the only thing you really have to worry about them is, like, jumping and down airing you. Which, you know, you can let go of your rapid jab at that point, and then if they're slow enough, you can defend yourself. See, like, so this is like one stage where I could say you can actually use Clay Pigeon pretty nicely, just because you can use those slants, so it can kind of just skirt underneath a lot of stuff. So you can kind of get some nice things off of it. Like, basically, you can make their missile pressure a lot worse, especially if you have a gunman set up. Okay, there. Oh no! What? You could have just jumped up there and killed them. Why? I hope I can just blame Wi-Fi on that one. Like, there's so many times where you could just, like, oh, you could have just jumped up there again. Like, why are you making this so hard on yourself? Like, if you have the guaranteed kill set up there, go for it. Don't try to, like, big brain yourself into losing. Okay, Clay Pigeon. That looked like a Wi-Fi issue there. Okay, that one you could have Clay Pigeon on that platform, and then you could have gone for back air that would have killed. Yeah, at that point, all you had to do was crouch. You would have actually, hold up a second. If I remember correctly, I think we can even crouch. I think we can down tilt underneath dash attack, unless they fixed it. Yeah, I think, let me check Samus's dash attack, because I think the animation is, I know the animation is different. I think that actually does affect the hitbox. Okay, actually maybe not anymore. So back in Smash 4, I know you could technically down tilt under. We still might be able to. That weak hit we definitely could. Maybe not the strong hit, but the weak hit we can definitely crouch under. Or down tilt under. There's certain things, like with the way the animation works, I know makes Dark Samus's dash attack a little bit better. And that's the thing, like there you want a naked without, oh no, what did you do? What did you do? Yeah, that one was on you. I've no idea what you did. But yeah, you had that game. You did. So you can only blame yourself for that loss. All right. But yeah, work on Shield Can. Like once you play around Shield Can, you'll immediately notice an improvement, and I can guarantee it.